Welcome to the Old-Fashioned Three. They've been around basketball from the Big Dipper to the Greek Freak, from Russell's Celtics to Curry's Warriors, from Peach Baskets to Paolo Banchero. Here are Whitey Gleason, Phantom, and Jerry Reynolds.
Yes, that was that cat, all right.
Warn you. I feel that I should warn you that my microphone's not on, for one thing. But,
oh, boy.
Secondly, you're stepping into a hornet's nest because you got Mr. Heat guy over here, Mr. Basketball, and, of course, the great Jerry Reynolds. And they're going at it over who the MVP should have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm with, well, it doesn't matter who I'm with. But you've got, in one camp, you've got, hey, Caleb Martin was the MVP. On the other camp, you've got, what do you mean it's Jimmy Butler?
That's exactly how I said it, too. What do you mean it's Jimmy Butler? Hey, come on, Mr. Bill. Yeah, Jimmy Butler was the whole reason. He was the whole reason they were there. Without Jimmy Butler, they're not there. Sometimes he wasn't as efficient as other times. He was their leader. He ran everything. He was the reason they were in the series, and he was the reason that they won the series.
He's the main reason they were there. He wasn't the best player in that series.
What does it matter what he had to who had what to do with them
if they don't have
getting
Jimmy
there?
What? They don't even take the floor.
So what?
If they didn't have Caleb Martin, they just call his brother, bring him in. Same DNA. I'm just saying Jimmy Butler is the raison d'etre that the Miami Heat are in that series.
Oh, he is.
And he's the reason they won that series.
If
he's not there, they don't win that series.
Well, if Caleb Martin wasn't there, they wouldn't win that series either.
I'd find somebody, Jerry, come on. I'd find somebody shooting 90% from the field all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, Jimmy Butler's their MVP for the whole playoffs.
Yes.
But he wasn't for the Eastern Conference Finals.
I suggest that he was. I don't know that he statistically had the best series, but he's the most valuable player because he's the center of that team, and nothing works without Jimmy Butler.
Well, you are now the former Mr. Basketball.
Well, that's going to happen. I knew it.
That
I thought
just
it would
happened.
I thought it would be earlier in the show, but I knew that was going to happen eventually.
Wow.
I do not deserve
certain
the
things
title.
we can't tolerate.
Yeah, but
I disagree
your argument
with you.
is you may be right. I don't agree with you.
I may be
right,
crazy.
But your argument is extremely flawed if you're saying Jimmy's MVP because he's the reason they're there. That's not, the award has nothing to do with how they got there.
Yes.
It has to do with what happened when they were
he's the reason
there.
they're there. He's the reason they won.
doesn't
He's the
matter.
most valuable player to the team, and the team won the series, and he's the most valuable player. He's the reason they're there, and the
doesn't
reason they
matter.
won, and the reason they won the series. He led them. He ran them. He ran the show. He took over. He played both ends of the floor. He's the guy. When you're the man, Jerry, you're the man, as you know.
Well, in that case, Eric Spoelstra should have got the award.
I would have given it to Eric Spoelstra. Absolutely. Or taken it away from the other guy was more appropriately. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, how about this? We don't know for sure who's going to win. Obviously, we have our opinions. I think most people have the same opinion about this series. But no matter who wins the NBA Finals, we will have a fifth different champion in the last 5 years in the NBA. That hasn't happened since 1975 through 1980.
Wow.
You think that's good for the league, bad for the league, or, hey, that's just the way it is?
That was the dead period for the league, basically, before it got rejuvenated with Bird and Magic coming in. I don't know if having 5 different ones is good for the league. I think Denver and Miami, I think it's going to be really good for the league, that series.
I think it's going to be a great series. I mean, I am just really pulling for Denver in so many ways.
Well, you've been on the bandwagon for quite some time, sir.
I have, mainly because of Malone and Jokic. I think, but I think a lot of people are selling the Heat short. I think they're going to, the old
as they have all through the playoffs.
Yeah, and I mean, and if Caleb Martin can lead them into this,
stop it, Jerry. That was nicely played.
Yeah. How many NBA Finals have there been? There have been, 70? This is a 76th, if I have my
70,
math.
yeah, I think it's 76.
Somewhere around there, because they just
in
said the
that area,
75th anniversary team. Do you know that Pat Riley now, as an executive coach, player, this will be his 19th trip to the finals.
Wow.
And they've only had the 76. Isn't that just...
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know that's one of those things where you're going, Whitey can't be right. We better look
well,
that
I mean,
I heard it
people
on
do that a lot.
NBA on XM series.
So
yeah.
do we take Phil Jackson and Auerbach and stuff and kind of move them over and make way for that other name to come up to that level? Or is he already there?
I think you can make that case. I mean, as far as the overall most successful basketball administrator, executive, as coach in the front office, I think you definitely do. I mean, the success certainly he had with the Lakers and the Knicks. They didn't, win championships, but I mean, my God, how good have they been since for the most part? And then Miami, which was really nowhere, have now become, one of the real powers in the league. And and just doing it with bells and whistles. Really, I always said I think the most amazing thing to me about Pat Riley was when he first started coaching the Lakers. He wasn't really Pat Riley yet.
No, I saw on a winning time. I knew exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Jerry. Yeah,
but I mean, but he became Pat Riley, and I mean, fortunately, when you get a start with Magic and Kareem and those guys, your chances for success are quite a bit better.
Greatly
because they'd won
amplified,
a world
yes.
championship before.
Yes,
and so
yes.
so he had a chance to actually kind of become Pat Riley. But he was smart enough to do it. Like I say, I think there's a lot of guys that could have won a lot of games with those teams. Been hard not to, but not. I don't know of anybody that could have done better.
One of the things that impresses me the most about him as an executive/coach, and this is similar to something Jeff Petrie did on a smaller scale, but Pat Riley winning championships with two totally different teams, basically the Wade, Shaq team, and then obviously you got to have the wherewithal, you got to have the market that is attractive to players. But then with the Wade, LeBron, Bosh thing, putting together kind of a almost dynastic.
The
team.
Heatles,
yeah.
Well, one thing I like about him, I guess it's a true story, is the fact that LeBron came to him at some point early on and said, "We got to get rid of Spoelstra. Wait, this is not working." And he put his foot down and he goes, "No, that guy's staying." And a lot of guys don't do that in the face of that kind of opposition. But he said, "No, it's my team. This is what we're going to do." And he kept him. So
and you can really take that to the bank because, as Phantom said, he thinks it's a true story.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's true. And if it's not, don't blame me. I heard it from somebody else.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
See, there you go. Yeah. That's about as good as confirmation you get. It wouldn't surprise me. That's what I think.
Well, I got from several reliable sources that during the LeBron era that there were several little come-to-Jesus talks.
Thank you,
that
Jerry.
went one way, and it wasn't LeBron's way, that the charter flight was for business purposes, not for family, friends, and hangers-on.
Hanger-ons, yeah.
And so, really, Pat might be the only guy that could pull that off, be my guess.
And that's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you establish that quote-unquote Heat culture.
Yeah,
I suspect that the finals are going to be a coronation of sorts for a guy who's widely recognized as a great player, but still, I think, under-recognized and underappreciated, and that, of course, Nikola Jokic.
Slobo?
You look at his – what's that?
Slobo, yeah.
Now he's Slobo? Slobo?
Yeah, I changed it.
Okay. His career postseason numbers, 27.3 points, 11.9 rebounds, 7.3 assists. That's his career numbers in the postseason. He's one of those guys who actually has elevated his game in the postseason, but he's never won a championship yet. Maybe this year, maybe not. But I still think there are a lot of people that don't realize just how good he is because he looks like people go, "Oh, if that guy can't be good."
Exactly.
He's kind of chubby. He doesn't run well. He doesn't jump. He's phenomenal.
He has no measurables.
Well,
he's just a big guy.
Yeah, but I mean, here again, a lot of people see basketball in one prism. Can you dunk over everybody? Right. Or can you do the flashy stuff?
Yeah, the
as
highlight
opposed
prism.
to the highly skilled stuff. He has complete fundamental skills. He can dribble, pass, shoot, and he can do them with either hand and from about everywhere. And the instincts for the game. I mean, I always said that's a big part that's overlooked a lot. It's just the instincts to play the game.
That's a great point. Kind of anticipating what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and knowing,
yeah. There's not very many guys that really understand all five positions, especially big players. Point guards. I think you've seen more of that with them. And I think by the position, you have to know what's in front of you.
What was that term you used? Point guard. I don't know what that is. Point guard?
Yeah, they used to. This was going back maybe to the
Nobody
80s,
under 25.
Okay.
Nobody under 25 has any idea
Now
what
it's a
you
lead
just said.
guard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Point center, point forward.
Which basically means I'm leading the team while I score.
Leading in shots, yeah. Exactly.
Mr. Basketball, Jokic, not a great defender. That's one thing people can say. But he really, do you know of any moments this year in the playoffs where you've said, "Wow, they're tearing him up. He's a sieve out there"?
No, and I don't know. And as much as I like Bam Adebayo, I don't know that he's really an offensive center that's going to put that much pressure on Jokic as well. But the thing I think that's one of the strengths of Denver is I was going to say we talked about it. I talked about Jimmy Butler and the Heat just ripping the hearts out of the Celtics, and I don't think Denver's going to make it so easy. I think Denver's got the teamwork and they can rely on each other. I don't think their hearts are going to be as easy to rip out. I give Jimmy Butler and the MVP, Mr. Martin, all the credit, but I don't think it's going to be as easy to get to Denver as it was to get to Boston.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, they've kind of proven that, and and getting back to Jokic on defense, I've always said, he's a terrific team defender. Because of his instincts, individually. But then you could say the same thing about Steph Curry. You could say the same thing about Magic and Bird. They were great team defenders because of total understanding of the game. They weren't great individual defenders like a Jordan was or Iguodala in his prime, things like that. But, hey, however you get it done, if you can get it done.
Yeah, and he's still a big body, even if his instincts, and he also has 7 foot 280, whatever it is.
Yeah,
so
whatever
he
it
is tough to get around.
Speaking of defense, this is from the car show. Those of you who saw the car show, I don't mean to be redundant.
I know, it
but
was a good one today.
Watching the playoffs now, I know there must be a reason for this, Coach, but I don't know what it is. Why is it now that so many teams switch virtually everything? Because you see, for example, in the Boston-Miami series, Jimmy Butler would want Horford on him. So Bam sets a screen, and then Horford's
he does what
then they got to switch, and then so Miami gets exactly the matchup they want. You see that over and over and over and over and over again. Why do teams switch virtually everything? It seems to me there was a time when, hey, we're not going to switch this. Get through the screen.
That's your man. Go follow him.
Is that illegal now or what?
Yeah.
Well, as I brilliantly pointed out to you in the car show.
Wow. Tooting the own horn right here.
No,
I
mean, it needs tooted.
Brilliantly pointed out to you.
It needs tooted a little bit.
You don't get enough credit. You're right, Jared.
Anyway, as we both talked about it and thought about it, is that, why do they switch so much? It's wrong.
Okay. So it's because it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad. Okay.
I mean, in other words, it's like, you're creating your own mismatches. You're allowing it to happen.
You're just like, okay,
encouraging
go ahead.
it,
Yeah.
in fact, as opposed to, if you have to let the defender go under, and the worst thing you do is give up a jump shot over the top of the screener.
Right.
It's like, how bad is that compared to allowing a mismatch? I say it's not near as bad because most guys off the dribble shooting over the screener is not an easy shot.
No.
As we've seen the shooting numbers from three in the playoff plummet.
Yeah.
So, I understand if it's Steph Curry, you can't do that. You can't go under. You got to find a way.
But if it's your boy Jimmy and he's 25 feet from the basket,
yeah,
I'm going under.
But I think that's the point, though. Everybody's playing people like they're Steph Curry. Because before you explained why that was wrong, that was my only answer to Whitey's question is they don't want to give the guy who's got the ball an open shot before the other guy steps up on him. But like you say, not a lot of great shooters, but Steph Curry is, and so you don't give him the open shot. So, we got to switch because we can't give that guy the open shot no matter who it is.
No matter who and the other part is, one of the reasons it's hard to go under is because the defender of the screener, he's up on him like he's trying to do something.
Right.
Because he's ready to switch out. Well, the problem is it's like, why do you want to do that? Because if you screen and roll, give him some space, you're going to cover the roller much better.
Yeah.
It's like, Bloomfield High School in Indiana would play it better than that.
Well, like you said, Jimmy Butler has the ball 25 feet out. He's not hurting you out there.
Nope.
No. He's not hurting you from in any form. So even if
he shouldn't have been the MVP of that series.
Well, some say that. Yeah. I heard he should be. But so he's not dangerous. That's what you get frustrated when somebody fouls somebody out near midcourt, no matter who it is. What are you out there guarding that person for? They're not going to do anything, and I think this is the same kind of thing, but I think people are conditioned. I can't let that guy come off clean because he's going to take that shot. And these days, everybody's going to take that shot, and enough people maybe make it to make you think that way.
There's one other thing that I know drives Coach Jerry crazy, and I think it's going to be a key to this series, but before we get to that, we've talked about this too. A lot of times in the NBA, Miami plays a lot of zone. Teams will face a zone. Boston faces zone. It's like, whoa. What's that?
They had no idea what they were looking at.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were talking about again in the car show.
Yeah.
You know, we get some.
Man, Stones, you got to give some scriptures to the car show. These guys are good.
But it's like, wait a minute. If you're any college team has a zone offense.
High school.
Because they play zones against them.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so in the NBA, you have 82 games. You have your own practice facilities.
You got it pretty good, don't you?
I mean,
yeah, you do.
You think that okay, I don't know how much we're going to play against zone, but maybe we ought to, instead of useless shoot-arounds where we shoot the same
Uselessly,
shot,
yes.
maybe we'll have a walkthrough about a zone offense. Is this
Yeah.
what we do
Yeah.
when we see this 2-1-2 zone offense or defense?
And they played it before, so you know they're going to throw it
You
at you.
kinda know
You know
that.
it's going to be there because they played it and it worked. You go, well, we got to do something about this. It works, so they're probably going to play it again. And then when they do, it's like, hey, no one told us. No one told us they could do that.
Nobody told me.
Well, and then on TV, the analyst will say, well, they can just run their man-to-man offense against it. Yeah, you can.
Wait a minute.
you can, but it won't be real successful.
Hold on.
No, there is somebody I've heard say, well,
Wait
you could
a minute.
I can't remember who it is, so I don't want to say, but I've heard somebody on NBA goes, well, you could just run your man-to-man.
No, you can't. It's a zone. I'm sorry. Who said that?
Well,
I need to know.
Like I say, you can run it, but it won't be nearly as successful because it's a zone, and this other guy who you got by one will be there.
There's another guy there because it's in his zone.
It's
let
in
me
his
ask you
zone.
this, Jared.
You're going into his zone.
I can't. I wish I would have heard that. It must have been Reggie Miller.
I was going to say it was, but I'm not sure. I think it might have been.
I think maybe it was.
I think
yeah.
it was. I think it was. Analytics question. 1.21 points per possession. Is that good offensively?
That's good.
Okay.
Very good.
Miami played more zone than anybody in the NBA this year. They played Denver twice. Against Miami's zone, Denver scored 1.21 points per possession against Miami's zone. So Miami relies a lot on the zone.
Not gonna play zone.
But Denver's got, you get Jokic at the foul line, and good night. Good night, Irene, is our
Good night,
mom
Irene.
say,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I don't
I
think
thought you were
Miami's
there.
going to have as
Yeah.
much success against Denver with the zone as they had against Boston.
Well, the only thing I can see that gives Miami a little bit of chance in the zone, it's only going to help them in passing angles from Jokic. You know, they'll be in better positions to cover his first pass out of that.
Right.
And you know, in back cuts and things because the cutters are cutting into defenders.
So
I think there's I honestly I think it can make it tougher on Denver than normal.
Yeah.
Man
Oh,
to
really?
man.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
So is
But he's a pretty good shooter, too.
yeah, but
Well, they're not going to stop him per se, but they might be able to stop him from some of the stuff he really
Interesting. I hadn't
likes
thought of
to do, the back cuts, you know, and
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
I hadn't thought of that.
So is it more beneficial for them to kind of make him have to be a scorer then, and go ahead and say, I know you're going to hurt us, as you pointed out with the stats, you're going to hurt us in a lot of ways, but it hurts us less if you score more than you pass, facilitate, and get other people involved.
I do. I mean, I think for a couple of reasons is they're not geared that way. They're geared for him to score a
Right.
lot, but keeping people involved. Yeah. And the second thing, and I think it's really important, Jokic doesn't want to score 50.
Yeah. He
That's
really
not his
doesn't care.
game.
He'd
I
rather
mean,
just have
he
everybody
wants
play
to
and
get
win the
his
game. Yeah.
25 or
Yeah.
30 and make sure Porter's got 15 and Gordon's got 15. And, of course, Jamal Murray now is
Yeah.
more of an individual, and he'll go hunt for points, as he should. That's fine. And but even that. So that's why
Interesting thoughts.
I think it'll be an interesting series. I do.
All right, let's wrap it up with this for now, and we'll continue with our preview. Actually, I don't know when we're on again, but we'll figure that out.
We'll tell you someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were advising this player who's going to be drafted first round,
Okay.
would you tell him, hey, that's a smart thing to say, or, yeah, you probably shouldn't go there?
All right, fair.
Now, right now, according to the mocks, he's picked as high as 10th, as low as 28th. So he's going to be picked
First
round.
rounder, maybe lottery,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Duke, 7-1 center, Derek Lively. You know Derek Lively?
Yes, I know the
He
name.
looks like he could be a rim protector. He looks like he can guard on the perimeter as well, lob threat. So he was asked, hey, give us an NBA talent you'd compare your game to.
Okay.
All right? This
That's
is what
a
I want to
fair
ask you.
question,
Is this
I
like,
guess.
yeah, good answer, or
Yeah.
maybe not
Good
where
answer,
you want to
good
go?
answer.
Says, I definitely compare myself to Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah, he should have.
I thought you said an NBA player.
I thought he should have. He probably should have thought through that.
It'd definitely be Willie Cauley. Then he says, "Oh, and you got some Olajuwon and some Anthony Davis in there too."
Wait a minute, you start with Willie Cauley
yes,
and then go to Olajuwon?
And I was very high on this guy.
You're burying the lead.
I don't know.
You know, I got a lot of Olajuwon on my game, maybe some Anthony Davis, and I watched Willie Cauley-Stein in college once, and I really liked him or something. Put that to the side.
Definitely be Willie Cauley-Stein.
You don't lead with Stein? No, you don't lead with Stein.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he's going to draw.
Well, what little I've seen now, I haven't watched him a few games because Duke's always on, but I think he is closer to Willie Cauley-Stein.
Really? So he's right.
Than he is.
Well, then to Olajuwon.
I can tell you, he ain't close to Olajuwon.
Yeah. Or Anthony Davis. I think maybe that's setting the bar a little low. Maybe it's kind of, you know.
So he's going to exceed expectations.
I think he might.
then.
I'm going to put him at number 22 now.
Okay.
So you 10 to 28. I'm going down to 22.
I put him in the second round, mid-second round now.
I think he's
in my mock.
Undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
I don't need another Willie Cauley-Stein.
We'll see you next time on the Old Fashioned 3.
Thank you for joining the Old Fashioned 3 on Stones Radio Networks. To stay updated on the show, like and subscribe on YouTube, and all shows are available for download on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, and of course at stonesradionetworks.com. Follow the show and the gents on Twitter at OL, Fashioned, and the number 3, at Phantom Radio 60, and at Whitey Gleason. This has been a production of Stones Radio Networks.